Good morning, Pretoria. It is a wonderful day. It is August 28th in the year 2023. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and it is a pleasure to be speaking with our community. Thanks, everybody, for being here and listening in. I see the Town Hall Bingo. Looks adorable. Definitely see Land 1.5. I'll put that in there. Salty. I imagine Salty is going to be part of some of this. So a good way to kick that off. You're hilarious. Really love this community. You guys are great. I got a show for you today. We're gonna go have on a number of regulars that you're used to seeing. I imagine there's some talk that's gonna go out there. We're probably gonna discuss land. That's probably gonna be on there. We got some planning that's coming up here that we've been pushing back, but it's time to do. And I know everybody's going to be looking forward to, it's basically just like us tap dancing around the when question. That's what today is. And we're going to try to give you the best updates that we can and give you the most up-to-date information we can, and we'll go from there. So let's go hop into a team stand-up real quick, and we'll go in the order of which I can see folks. So it's going to be Harry, Weirdbeard, and Nate. If you guys could just kind of share what you're going to be talking about today.
Good morning. I will be talking about the update tomorrow and what little we have going out. Yeah, that's pretty much I'll be covering.
Weirdbeard, what are we talking about today?
Preparing for land and what you need to be ready for in order to have your plots ready.
And then Mr. Nate.
Howdy. I don't know. I'm kind of winging it. Although, don't be surprised if we touch on Rift Watchers.
Rift Watchers.
Yeah.
Funky. Okay. Well, let's go hop over to Gator and see what's up with our mini release today, or not today, but coming up tomorrow. Harry, what's on the docket? What we got going?
Well, the main thing tomorrow is we are doing a major database version upgrade. So that should improve the backend performance. Nothing exciting, but since land has sucked pretty much all of the developers up, there's not a lot else going out. I did spend some time this past week reworking team submission a little bit. So there should be a fix for the error that people are seeing when submitting brawls, where they get that this battle has already been resolved after they submit a team. Even if they still get that error, it shouldn't be a pop-up that they have to click to get to play. It may just show up as a little notification on the side. Hopefully it won't show up at all. So that is the main fix going out. We are doing some other database cleanup other than just updating the actual database code. One thing that we're doing is adding fields for production points and DEC staking cost onto all of the cards. They will not be populated initially, and we will start doing a population of that data over the realistically next week. I've been running a test population on a backup database since last Friday, and it is still running. And it's got an estimated couple days left to update all of the card records in the game, which is kind of a precursor to us getting land out, is we need to have the production points to all the cards. So those are the big things going out tomorrow.
All right. That doesn't sound extensive. A little nerve-wracking that it isn't extensive, right? Like normally we have 10 billion different things going out in a week, and now it's a little hush.
Yeah, I did get slightly sucked into helping with land. There is also some changes for how weapons training works, but need to go through the minutia of that with Matt in detail when he is back and available, which should be sometime this week. So we may be addressing some bugs with that by doing a larger rework of how that ability works. And that's pretty much the only things that have been on the docket outside of trying to get the baby out the door, pushing the baby out.
Yeah, we gotta push this baby out. All right, let's go hop over to Weirdbeard. Weirdbeard's probably got some things to say about land, and he can kind of update us a little. It sounds like we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up for land, or how you prep for land, and maybe we'll even describe or discuss or tap dance around when land. So, Weirdbeard, good morning.
Hello.
So, how are things going?
They're good. It's been a long weekend, I can tell you that much. As people know, Neil Farpatrod has headed off to Alaska to the Great Wilds with his dad for a long and much deserved vacation. But that doesn't mean that we have stopped land work. we in fact, Neil was putting stuff up over the weekend after he landed up there, but we have plenty of developers here who are working and in the middle of it. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to highlight today, and stuff that we're going to walk through, is our land phase 1.5 pre-flight checklist. And essentially what this is supposed to do is make it so that people are aware of and prepared for when land launches. The number one thing really is to start with, understanding dark energy or stake DEC requirements. So you're going to need stake DEC to be able to fuel your power source, except for plots that do have a Rooney. So if you have a Rooney, guess what? This doesn't apply to you. For optimal efficiency, 10K DEC per max level card is required. Cards below max level require proportionally less DEC. And we're going to have a support document that we're going to be able to put out, this actual thing that you're looking on the screen here. Even though Nate's on screen, that's okay. And we're going to be able to have it to where people are going to be able to go through this here shortly afterwards. So not only are you going to need the stake DEC, but you're also going to need to know your power sources. What are the things that are making your land run? You either need Rooney to be able to do it, or you need those power cores. And to function, power cores require that stake DEC that is, again, staked to their region. So when you're staking that DEC, it's not like I've staked and I just stake it anywhere willy-nilly. It has to be in the region that you're trying to use your current plot. Power cores will be available for purchase at the price of 5,000 DEC or DECB and are non-transferable. So do not purchase them for your friends. Players who purchase the building in a box starter package will immediately be granted a power core. Remember, once again, power cores are not transferable. You can also consider transferring plots in advance to meet the requirements for prefix titles, pending future release, which is part of 1.6. Building in a box packages won't provide a free building until Land 2.0, since the project site you construct in Land 1.5 is technically not a building. Rooney core. Rooney must be delegated to an account to stake them on land. Once delegated and staked, they eliminate the need for DEC on that particular plot. In a single plot, players can stake either a Rooney and 4 workers or a Rooney, power core, and 5 workers. So if you have that power core, it gives you that bonus extra worker on land, which is actually pretty helpful to be able to have those 6 workers total. Make sure that you have enough cards. Another big thing is you're going to need those cards in one account. Delegated cards and rented cards cannot work land. So although it may be implemented in a future release, as of right now for 1.5, you're going to need to own the cards that you're trying to put on land. So if you do not own them and you're skating by renting those, those Corneliuses and Biz Kitties, got to go pick them up on the market now while you still can. Understand card and item locking. Card and item locking prevents the items from being sold or transferred until the specified time period has elapsed. What that essentially means is cards, once you stake them on land, they're automatically locked. It takes 3 days for you to unlock them after you unstake them. And for additional security, you can specify a longer unlock time, up to 30 days. To do this, manually lock your cards and specify the unlock time prior to staking them on land. And cards that are unstaked from land will be on cooldown for 72 hours. One of the big bolded items here that we've had a lot of questions about: if you need to move lock cards to another account before working land, or if you want to change their unlock time, you should begin unlocking them ASAP. So they're unlocked and ready to go before land 1.5 comes out. You do not want to be scrambling, and we cannot get around any lock periods, no matter how many support tickets you write in. Make sure you're also evaluating the placement of your cards. One of the things that people have played around with a little bit and need to sort of look into are again those terrain preferences, land production boosts, and the totem and title production boosts. Just meaning like, hey, just because a card is really good on one plot of land does not mean that it's good on every single plot of land. And last, or not lastly, number 6, evaluating the production types and hone your overall strategy. Um, since research isn't transferable and transferring grain between different accounts incurs a 12.5% transportation fee, pretty high. Players should carefully consider whether to move land plots and or owned cards to particular accounts. Really making sure you have a strategy, I think, is going to be the biggest thing that people can consider when they go through and are understanding and trying to figure out what they want to be doing with land. For grain, if you purchase a Time Vault starter package, the grain's in your inventory. So when Land 1.5 rolls out, you can send this grain to one of your regions or to another player's region at no cost. However, it's a one-way process. Once assigned to a region, this inventory grain becomes region specific. And once it goes in, it doesn't come back out unless you're paying that fee. The mechanism of distributing Time Vault grain to your inventory was done to accommodate pooling groups. Eventually, almost all inventory grain is going to be assigned to regions, and all future grain will be region specific. Workers produce grain at a rate of 0.02 production per hour, because I'm not going to say PP as many times as people probably want me to, but they also consume a portion of the grain they're farming. Because Magical Land has a plus 100% bonus to research and occupied land, has a plus 100% bonus to SPS mining, natural land may be more suitable for farming grain. We also have research, which again, it's going to be a lot more coming in the white paper and more like design documents coming out for Land 2.0. But in each of the 7 territories, the secret of Pretoria can only be uncovered through all of its landowners researching. For every 10,000 production a landowner devotes to research, they'll receive 1 research token minus 10% for taxes. These non-transferable tokens are soul bound to your account and remain associated with the territory in which you perform the research. So again, research is non-transferable. You are not going to be able to do it and then dump it all later. After the release of Land Phase 1.5, you can compete against your fellow landowners for prefix titles, which will be awarded to those who complete the most research for each territory. Prefix titles are going to grant certain benefits when Land Phase 2 is released. And again, we also will have prefix title bonuses coming in Land 1.6 when that releases later on this year. Building a research hut on Magical Land provides a 100% production bonus. And then also there's mining SPS. Hey, you want more SPS? Boom. Shard mine helps you do that. 100% bonus production. That one's super easy. Go ahead.
Is the document out, or is this to be released soon?
This is to be released soon. We're showing it off here, and then we'll be able to put it out after Town Hall.
And then I'm seeing there's a bunch of questions about the locking mechanism.
Yes.
So can you just kind of go through that a little bit more, like we're 5, if I have cards and they're on the wrong account, it sounds like I have to unlock those cards, move them to the account that has land on it, and then I have the option to relock the cards there.
Correct.
Is that
exactly? Yes.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to help people avoid the cooldown times, and they go, "Oh my god, I didn't realize it was on the wrong account," and then they have to go and wait the 72 hours.
Alternatively, could I move my land to the place where my cards are?
I mean, technically, I guess you could. But just the standard best practice here is consolidating everything into one account is going to be your best bet, since you need to specifically own those cards. So if you want to avoid cooldowns and lockdowns and all the stuff, land owned cards that are going to be working that land should all be into one account at one time. So yeah, so no, I see Sentinel Fame. Do I need to move all the cards in my card account to my land account? Can I just delegate? No, only owned cards are able to be worked on land. No rented, no delegated accounts. But that's one of the reasons why we have increased locking times, so you can set those longer unlock times up to 30 days once you do put them onto that count, since it is consolidating everything into one. Is a land plot producing both SPS and grain, or only producing based on building that you choose? It is the building that you choose. because you cannot build multiple different ones on the same one. If you move land, and I don't know if you'll get your presale bonus purchases building in a box. Yes, as long as you have not claimed on, as long as you still have not claimed them. If you have claimed them, then they are delegated to that account and are non-transferable. They're soul bound. Okay. We were going through time crystals. So number 7, each time crystal reduces the production required for a project by 10,000. In essence, it speeds up construction. That's why it's a time crystal. Time crystals can be purchased for 100 deck or deck B, which is burned each. Time crystals can already be transferred from the items to other page. And time crystals were included in the Time Vault starter package. If you use time crystals to instantly build your work site, you don't need to feed your workers grain to complete it. Super great. And if you start building a work site and later speed up its construction with time crystals, you then do have to feed your workers for the time that they were working prior to the use of the time crystals. Is this too much of an info dump for you? Is this helpful, Aggie? As
Well,
a participant?
it's a mix. You're going pretty fast, so it's hard to go keep up with every little piece here. But chat has 8,000 questions that have been going through as you sort of been doing this. So, I think it's fine to kind of hit this at a high level, and quick, and then as long as this document gets out shortly, the players will be able to go sort of find the answers that they're looking for.
Yeah, we're going to put this out afterwards, but more than anything, I just wanted to give some concrete answers other than just talking about production of land, since people have had questions about what's going on.
How many sections do you have beyond time crystals in there?
That's this is the last one.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, so just cover what's in time crystals, and then we'll dive into the next set of questions.
Cool. So understanding harvest, grain, taxes, and storage. This is the one that I want to breeze through the fastest. Harvest is when you grab all your stuff. During a harvest, workers must be fed grain. You earn 90% of the resources your workers produced. The remaining 10% is paid in taxes. A portion of these taxes are captured by castle and keep owners, and the rest is burnt. And you have a chance of discovering totem fragments during a harvest. Grains required to feed your workers during a harvest, and because all resources require grain to produce, you must consider farming it first and then changing work sites to produce other resources, i.e. SPS or research. You can also purchase grain for 1 deck or deck B, which is burned each, or you can import grain from a different region. However, this incurs a 12.5% tax. To prepare for a harvest, determine how much grain your workers will consume by region, because again, grain is locked to region. So just because you have grain in a different area in the PNW does not mean that it's going to show up in a region outside of that. Workers consume 0.01 grain per base production/hour. Base production excludes boosts like land rarity, titles, and totems. For example, a max level Chaos Legion common card produces 1,000 production per hour, which means it consumes 10 grain per hour. And that's it. Although I would be remiss if I did not shout out to go and check out the lore. See where your region stands by visiting. Here, let me drop this link in chat right now. Go find out more. We have all this wonderful creative team working hard behind the scenes to create awesome lore and tell you more about the Great Lowlands, the Shimmering Coast, the Wild Northeast, Pristine Northwest, Broken Lands, Lands of Prosperity, and the Central Fire. And I think that more than anything else, we've just covered a whole bunch of numbers and doodads and whatnot, but still the most important and interesting thing to me is getting this land lore worked out and rewarding our amazing creative team.
Yeah, that's a lot. There's a whole bunch to consider as we sort of prep ourselves for land. It sounds to me like some of that card locking and unlocking is probably the most pressing, right? Like if you have 30-day locks on your cards, you either need to move your land into where your cards are or start your unlocking if you haven't already.
Yeah,
because you need to have the ownership of the cards, and they have to be in the same account as the land to get them working.
Yeah, and more than anything, it's just so that people don't get caught with their pants down. We don't want people to all of a sudden go, "What? I thought I could delegate this," and then they have to wait the however many days to unlock it, and then it takes a while to get on there, and it's the whole it's the whole deal. So we want people to be prepared and to understand and know that again, the cards that are working on land have to be owned by that account, not delegated, not rented, not gifted, not put in the back of a Camaro and picked up in a Walmart parking lot. You need to own them to be able to stake them and put them on your land.
Um, any other kind of high level, pre-flight things that you want to get out, or do you feel like we covered all of that pretty well?
Again, the big thing that I would say, I try not to consume too much YouTube content around it. But we do have some great community members that are making YouTube content as content creators about their land strategies and how they're preparing to take their plots live and what they're doing. Different people have different strategies, so I don't want to advocate for one over the other. But I would really highly recommend going in with a plan, knowing what you're wanting to do. Are you wanting to be a grain lord? Are you going to double and triple down on research ahead of everybody else? Are you going to be somebody who's just caring about SPS and mining as much of that as possible? Having an understanding is really going to make it crystal clear for exactly what you should be doing heading forward, and what's going to be the most productive use of your land and your time. Because somebody that lives in like Gankland with 12, an entire region or tracts and tracts of land is most likely going to have a different strategy than somebody that has 4 to 5 plots that is trying to be self-sustaining. So yeah, that's all.
And yeah, and one thing to keep in mind is that this is a race, right? Like Land Laboratory is a race game. There is a limited amount of resources, and you are trying to get them before everybody else. That's generally how the race works. So I guess my encouragement is, if you haven't put together some sort of plan or thought through or collected all the things that you've wanted, you definitely want to be doing that, because you are racing against your opponents. And one of the things that I saw kind of cross my Twitter feed was the whales in the game have accumulated the most DEC in like the year. That like the amount of DEC held by whale accounts keeps going up. So they're collecting. They're not dumping. They're not disposing of this stuff. They're actively growing their accounts so that they presumably can work their land. So sometimes seeing on-chain metrics is pretty handy, and you can ask yourselves, what are the biggest players in the game doing? And they are currently accumulating DEC. So something to keep in mind as you consider what you're going to be doing, especially when land is finally out. Which begs a question. Can I switch to this topic? The when this, when that?
I don't like it, but you can.
Okay, I know. I don't like it either, because we said on the last town hall, hey, it's going to be out, and it's not, and it's not going to be coming out today either. We have some things that we still have to do. Like, unfortunately, there's still core features of land that aren't working. So it is our intention to try to get this damn thing out as soon as we can. But we don't want to put out a broken product, and we don't want to put out something that partially works onto Mavs but doesn't actually do the full game loop. So that's kind of the short heads up. Do you want to kind of give I made this analogy last time, that like on a road trip, my kids often ask me, when are we going to get there? And I often respond with how many miles we still have to go. Right? Because like, just because the GPS says something doesn't mean that's how long it's going to take. The distance is really more important than like the estimated time. So can you help me understand the distance? Like what's left to do, what's left to go, before we're ready to ship this thing?
Yeah. So I mean, the biggest thing that essentially is still outstanding that we're sort of working through is sorry, I got the panic coughs. Castles and keeps struggling with taxes. Taxes is a complicated process, because it touches not only obviously collection, but there's burning and how the different castles and keeps interact with each other. We still have some outstanding stuff on totem fragments, and time crystals are wonky, dude. Like they have been something that has given us errors for quite a while. And it's something that we're continuing to work through. Those are some of the main things that we essentially still have outstanding. Like, we have 4 outstanding things: castles and keeps taxes, grain relating to harvest, totem fragments, and time crystals issues. Those are the outstanding functionality. We also still have some bugs that are out there that we're working through. You know, some are showstoppers for mass release, some are showstoppers for public release, and some are just like, hey, we need to get these done, but it would be nice to get them done sooner rather than later. Um, but those are the main outstanding like functionality issues that we're still going through. Um, you know, and it feels like with a product this size that no matter what rock you lift, you find something else that you're like, oh, we could improve this, or oh, this is kind of wonky. We would like to be able to fix this. Um, you know, there was one that we were battling over the weekend that was about there's a column that says last harvested, and it shows you when you last harvested on that particular plot. And that was like 3 hours of trying to get a status to just update correctly in a column. So, you know, that it doesn't seem like a big deal, but then once you start digging into it, it all of a sudden becomes a much bigger deal. But again, we've done a pretty good job of being able to strip out and identify what is stopping release and what's a hey, we would like to get this done before we go further into the world. Um, you know, so we have a good grasp of what is doing that and what's not. We have Hardpoint, we have Antioch, we have Investigator, we have Cryptomancer, we have
Mancio.
Mancio is still in there too. Like, so there's lots of cooks in the kitchen at the moment trying to get everybody on what we've got to do. You know, and so I'm not gonna say dates, but that should hopefully give an exact like what we're still looking at, what still has to be done specifically to be able to get it over the finish line. Like, we're not talking about, hey, we need to build, um, you know, functionality of building a building on your plot. That's not what we're doing here. It's much more of the clicking of everything together than it is necessarily designing core functionality and understanding how it's going to work.
Okay. Um, um, I guess we also have another win question is a tower defense thing.
Mhm.
Any status update that you want to give on tower defense?
I can't give one. I would have to consult with our CTO, PJ, a little bit more about that. I know that they're still in discussions with Double Coconut and what's going on with it. But again, everything's been frozen essentially to be able to get this land stuff out. Like, PJ is a CTO. I was talking to him on the phone at 9:30 p.m. my time last night. So we sort of as a company have solely focused in on getting land as a number one priority. And while we're very concerned, I mean, I don't say concerned as in like a bad concern, but like we are still aware and attentive to tower defense. um Everything's been bumped for land, everything. So, you know, like it's going slowly, but it's in between land stuff. So there's not much of an update that I can share at the moment.
Um, let's see. Are there other things? Are there other pressing win questions that we want to talk about, or is that? I know that those are the least fun, but like best to go get it out and say this is what we got. This is where we're at.
I have a fun win. Do you want to talk a fun win?
I'd like to talk a fun win.
Guess what? The next Rift Watchers airdrop is almost here. How cool is that?
Okay, so I don't know if that's what Nate was hoping to go talk about there, but so that some of that's because of selling, right? So we've
Yeah.
seen almost 100 million DEC come in to the DAO for selling Rift Watcher packs, and some of that is because of the burn,
Mhm.
right? So we are now burning Rift Watcher packs every single day.
I think we're at
And
10% burn now at this point for Rift Watchers.
okay, I mean that's a lot of burning.
Mhm.
So for the people that have those packs, congratulations. You know, we said that there would be 3.
I don't hear Aggie, but oh, his mic dropped out here. We'll do the dun 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 na 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 na. Still not here. Dun na 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 na. I'll just sing the intro music to save everybody while we do this. But yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're back. Hello. Thank God.
I hit the cable coming out of my mic, and it took my mic out for a second, which is always what you want on a live stream. I don't know if you know that, but it's best if you lose your access. Weirdbeard, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello. I'm sorry. I have a 12-year-old daughter who, whenever I try to do anything, is instantly just like over here off screen talking to me. But no, I mean, Rift Watcher's burning. We have an airdrop coming in. I'm excited about that. We are that is being worked on in the background in addition to land, because we've done a million airdrops in the past. So that is not being bumped. We don't have to worry too much about that one. So I am excited about doing that one specifically when in the near future. I think it's going to be within the next week or two, maybe, but it'll be good. It'll be fun. Nice little change of pace.
Okay, so so we have like there's just a lot going on with enhancements still, right? Like this is not the time where we're like taking a leisurely stroll and relaxing. This is sort of like um high intensity dev work. We're getting down to like the wire on land things. We know that everybody wants us to get tower defense out as well. We are trying to push, we call it pushing the baby out. The goal is to go get this stuff out there. And the first step for land, as soon as it's done, is to go get it onto the Mav server, give you guys about a week of testing or something like that. And then pending no major brokenness, the goal is to go ship everything into actual production. And with tower defense, it sounds like the people that we need to make sure that tower defense works well are currently tied up trying to make sure that land, that we deliver the land baby well. And so that gets kind of pushed to a second priority and a high priority after we get land out.
Yeah.
Have I described that accurately, or is that different than how you feel or how you think?
Well, I mean, I'll answer specifically. Somebody in the chat said, why is tower defense being put on hold if Double Coconut was supposed to be working this outside of the SPS or SPL developers? Because we need to still know it's still a product in our catalog, right? Like, regardless of if we, are working on it or not, we cannot just ship something out on our website. We have to support it. We have to support a customer base for it. We have to know what's going on. Like, Double Coconut is not a Splinterlands. Like, we can't call them up at midnight and be like, hey, this broke, fix it for us right now. We still need to know what the code base is, how things work, how it interacts with our stuff. We also are hoping, again, like every product that we put out, we want to have tied into all of our different stuff. So it's not like Double Coconut and tower defense is just going to sit on its shelf by itself over here and not interact with the rest of the game. It's a core functional product, and I would feel the same way about whether we developed it ourselves or not. We need to know what's going on with it. Like that's I would feel crazy if we just took it and we were like, hey, just throw it out there. We don't know what it is, but just put it out there. So I really, more than anything else, it's due diligence, and I apologize.
All right. Are there other things that you want to talk about from the enhancement side and kind of like, any of these products and what we're doing?
Not at the moment, just because we're in land. I don't want to shift focus off. I don't want to make it seem like we're starting to take our eye off the ball and talk about other stuff. That's like, there is other stuff happening, but our main focus is land. That's it. Like, end all be all of conversation. I don't think anything else needs to be said, because that's that's just where we're at.
And I guess I want to give you a softball question, just because I think
Okay.
it's worth talking about. But how do you think the developers are working on this? Is this a low priority for them, a high priority? Like, what are you seeing from the guys that are actually like, knee deep in the code?
I mean, I don't think I'm not even a developer, and I've been putting in weekends with them, right? Like, we've had Lilyfire, Royal Eagle, our support team, Harry, all these guys that aren't doing the code in on weekends, because we also have all the guys doing code on weekends and late nights, and having to literally tell people to unplug their computers because you can tell that they're just walking zombies. Like, this is a grind. This is in the development world. Crunch is what it's called, and we are in deep crunch mode, and it's hard, and it's grueling work, and it's unforgiving, and quite like without merit, because everybody just goes, oh, you're working, you're doing it, and it's like, yeah, but my eyes are bleeding. where the guys who are coding this are like, we're having to kick Neil off a vacation, man. Like, he's literally trying to vacation and do this at the same time. We have to be like, Neil, what the are you doing? Like, go fish, please. Just go fish, because I need Neil to come back and be refreshed and recharged, because it has been a death march, and it's tough. And like, I try not to talk about it too much, because it sounds very like, meh, I have a job, wah, and that's not what it is. But it's always like above and beyond the call of duty for a lot of stuff here. And I just I'm very thankful to them. I'm thankful to the people that aren't coding. This is a all the time thing, and this is not something that we are w- we're not like doing this from beach houses or anything like that. Like, this is in the lab every night. You do your morning stuff, you eat lunch, come back, you do it, you take 2 hours off to spend with family and do dinner, and then you're back in the afternoons, and then you do some more, and then you have your late night stuff, so that when everybody wakes up at 7, it just starts it all off, and you're back at the grind again. So, like, it is don't throw me flowers. Throw everybody else on the team flowers, because they deserve it. And it's a product that is um, powered by wanting to provide something good for the community. Like, if you look at anything that FARP says, everything is about wanting to deliver for people that are here and supporting him. And like, this is not just a thing that we're putting out to be like, oh, we're gonna put it out and make $1 billion, because it's not what it is. It's a pride thing for Hardpoint and FARP and Josh and Mancio and all these guys that have been working so hard on it. Like, they want to show that they haven't just been kicking around rocks for a year plus. You know what I mean? Like, we want to have it out there and be good and have people give us pats on the back, So
Um, there's a meme I saw that was something like, "My wife and kids, they seem like such nice people."
yeah,
It's like, um,
sure would be nice to see him once in a while.
yeah. I heard they're going to school again and all, whatever. It's just, um,
It's like the Civil War wife, where she's writing a letter. She's like, "My dearest Beauregard, I have missed you so long since you left to develop land."
yeah, yeah, yeah. A wonderful Southern belle, just, just waiting for her husband to return.
One day he'll
Just
come back to my life.
Yeah, no, I like this. I like this. We need like a couple of these analogies to just sort of have like consistency across the team of what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And the Southern Belle writing to her Civil War dev is a good one. I like this getting the baby out. That's like, the whole focus is on trying to deliver this product, like literally get this to you guys. So we're working on it, man. I wish we were further along. I really want this thing out. I get so excited because for me, the getting everybody competing against each other to get as many of these resources into land as possible, to get as many rewards as possible, that's good for this whole game.
Mhm.
And I'm excited for that. And this goes out to the bingo guys. Some might even say I'm stoked for that. There you go.
There you go.
A little toss you guys a grenade there. All right. Well, I think that's what we're gonna do with Weirdbeard for today, and we'll come back to him in a little bit. But thank you, Weirdbeard. Let's I think maybe we're doing Splinterlands TV next. I believe that to be the case. So let's hey Ron, how are things?
Going all right. I'm pretty excited. I wanted to talk about some stuff, but I asked you in private. Did you see that?
Yeah, I just did. I don't know, not yet. Let's not do that one yet.
Okay. All right.
So what anything major going on with Splinterlands TV that the people need to hear about?
Well, besides the stuff that you won't let me talk about.
Besides the stuff I won't let you talk about.
Yeah, no, I mean, so like our Summoner Summer event is over, but we've been having some great times on Splinterlands TV, and actually, it's a little bit better now. I think, just the clutter of all the giveaways and stuff has kind of detracted away from the awesome moments that we've been having on Splinterlands TV. the gameplay and the strats and the news and the just the different nuances of this game, which is so varied and so great, where we have these different perspectives from everybody around the world sharing this stuff, has really been exemplified in these past couple weeks, and I think everybody's kind of enjoying it. We did give away some pretty awesome prizes, and we are actually setting up for the next one right now. You guys will know about that soon enough. I'm going to keep a little bit tight-lipped on that. We're not releasing any information on that yet, but we do have another big promotion coming up here very soon. So probably the next town hall, I'm thinking we'll say something about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's good to get a little break from the giveaways and focus back on the content for a bit. But I know that people like the giveaways, so giving them something to look forward to, and a little prize for hanging in. And sometimes it's not a little prize. I mean, some of those cards are like $1,000 plus. So congratulations to the folks that got those.
I think it's really good marketing, just so they can cross that off on the bingo. I think it's I think it gets the word out. I mean, if you look at the Twitter feeds, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I just won this over on Splinterlands TV," and everybody's sharing it and stuff. It's good. It generates buzz, and that's kind of what we need to have during this kind of downturn in the markets. Good buzz, it's always a good thing. So we're going to get the next one out here, fairly shortly, but we're trying to strike a balance, right? We want to have a balance between these giveaways and the roots of what we were at, the core of what Splinterlands TV is about. And it's going to be hard. We're not going to get it. We're not going to be perfect at it, but I think that a good effort. We'll get close enough.
Fair enough. You want to do shout outs, or do you want to do the clip of the week?
I'll leave that up to you. What do you like? What do you want?
Well, why don't you prep the clip of the week, and I'll go read some of these. So shout outs. I'm seeing two people that are here an awful lot. So I'm gonna name off a couple of these. We got Skyer and Jay. We got Bitcoin Flood. We got a Cow HS. I'm gonna skip these for a second. We got Bootops TV, Jobby Saints, and Games World TT. And then there are two of these folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first one has 7 shout outs that they got. So that's Crypto Prime. And it's funny, it's Crypto Prime 07. So maybe that's why Crypto Prime chose to do that 7 times. But Crypto Prime is in here. And I don't know, just I can't even imagine how many hours of this Crypto Prime had to watch in order to be able to get 7 shout outs of Crypto Prime. And I'll just toss one in, Crypto Prime. So thank you, Crypto Prime 07. That was pretty amazing. But the person that took the cake for most is Techie. So it's Techie_004. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yep.
So I don't even know how to do that without any semblance of this, but Techie. I don't even know how many that was.
We need Weirdbeard. We need Weirdbeard to drop a beat.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely. I'm going to start my beatboxing days again. I'm just kidding. I never had beatboxing days, but yeah, Techie. Thanks for watching that much. It's insane. Techie. Get that name in your head, because I don't know. 15 shout outs is like 750,000 channel points or something.
Yeah.
That's absurd. They've been holding that back for a while now.
Yeah, well, Techie's one of our awesome streamers over on Splinterlands TV. He's got a couple of shows, and yeah, it's really cool that he not only does shows on there, he supports the streamers and watches other people's shows. So it's really awesome.
All right. Do you want to give us a clip of the week?
Okay, I got 2 clips of the week. So the first week, this one is the end of Summer. The Go Foil Kitty winner. We that one had to be the one that won this week. And so guys, this was a pretty awesome moment. G, he got it on his stream, and I think it took him by surprise.
Let's see it.
The second winner for my stream is Sean NFT is here. Sean NFT, congratulations. Where's Sean NFT? Oh, there you go. Sean NFT there. Congratulations. And you won a gold foil kitty. Went to Sean NFT. Oh! Woo! Woo! Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. It's on. Woo! Woo!
Yeah. And chat's going wild. I think I heard somebody in the background shouting and cheering too.
Yeah. Hey, he called it. He called it. He's like, go foil kitty to Sean NFT, and boom. Yeah. Sean NFT, congratulations. You couldn't happen to a better person. So glad that one of the OGs, people, the guy supporting Splinterlands content on Twitch before Splinterlands TV even existed, was able to nab that gold foil kitty.
Liberty Last is telling me that I forgot to mention Techie, and I needed to do it twice more. So Techie. I even gave you a bonus Techie in there. Okay, yeah, I like that clip. It's good to see people just like lose their mind in this game, and that's pretty fun. What's the second one? What else do you have there, Ron?
Well, we've had a Untamed Fairy going around giving out Untamed packs to our streamers. Matt Clark has been amazing, just handing out Untamed packs to our streamers. And one of our streamers, unfortunately, he was dealing with some health issues. He was in the hospital. It was pretty bad. Ended up getting out of the hospital, coming right to a stream and streaming, and got, he's a trooper, man. J-Ron is absolutely a trooper. The dude is I can't say that I would go.
Does he have like an IV in his arm while he's like doing the stream?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know about that, but it's possible. Like I'm not quite sure. I would be streaming if that had happened to me. So you know what? Big props to J-Ron. You are awesome, man. And here's your clip of the week.
The legendary in the Untamed pack. Thank you, Matt Clark. Whatever this is, gold foil kitty. I think what is it? 0.005% of a gold foil or something. Let's see what happens. All right, let's go. Llama. That's still pretty good. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Played it cool that whole time.
Well, I don't think he really had much of a choice, but yeah.
I bought a whole bunch of llamas at like $12. I was like, there's no way that these things are gonna.
You told me you were doing a show. They were $9.
Yeah, they were like $9.
I bought 12 of them for like $9 to $11 or something like that. Because of you, you're like, these are cheap, and I'm like, yeah, they are.
Yeah, somebody was dumping, and I was like, you guys are nuts. Yeah, these are going to be worth a lot more than that one day. So I went and I bought a bunch. It's nice to see that people do really love their llama. Yeah, I think one of my accounts is jacked for llamas for a little bit, just because you just get that sense of some of these things are going to be super popular. All right.
That Llama-cron, I mean, just llama in general, like especially before Chaos Legion and Rift Watchers and all the new abilities kind of helped quell it. I mean, that thing was pretty much unstoppable.
Llama-cron! Yeah, great combo. Okay. All right. Anything else that you want to add for today, Mr. Ron?
Just keep an eye out in the Splinterlands TV official Discord announcements channel. We will be coming out with some new crazy stuff that I'm sure everybody's going to love. And other than that, no, that's about it.
Rock on. Thank you, Ron.
You're very welcome.
Okay. Let's go talk to Nate. I hear that there's maybe some creative work that's getting done on some things.
Yeah.
Good day, Nate. How are things?
Doing great. I mean, yeah, we're still working on land, but it's the what comes after 1.5. So we are got our heads down looking, trying to get ahead of engineering. So which probably the devs don't want to hear, because they're like, they're working nonstop, 24/7, smoke coming out from under the hood. They're like, go, go, go. They're trying to get this thing out, and chances are they're going to want to breathe once it crosses the finish line, and Mavs are playing with it, and we finish the troubleshooting, and it's live. But yeah, even so, take the breather, take a little break. Looks like Farper Chart started earlier, and so what we're going to do is just try to have a few things sitting on the shelf waiting for them, so that we can get back into the swing of things. Make sure that we don't just stop land. I think Weirdbeard's pointed out several times that Weirdbeard is this ongoing thing. It's part of the ecosystem now. It's something that will be continually improving, getting refined, becoming better and better and bigger, and expanding to become all the things that everyone wants it to be. So that's definitely fun stuff. Something else is just the overall lore that land is introducing in a very small way. Being able to, up until now, it's been just a card game. You see cards pop up on the screen, and you feel a little disconnected. Same as like playing Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone or something like that. You're playing a card game. Little events are happening on the screen, and land is kind of like putting people in a slightly different mindset. As soon as we released version 1.0 and people saw the map show up on their screen for the first time, you start to think, oh, well, this is an actual fantasy world. There's locations, there's territories, I wonder who lives in those mountains over there. I wonder who is in that forest over there in the wilds in between the player-owned regions. And Weirdbeard was kind enough to share the lore.splinterlands link. I know that recently we released lore on the Chaos Empire, which, for those of you who haven't checked it out, I'll pop it in here. The same content is shared on the lore.splinterlands website, which is here. There we go. So you got two different places. We got our blog post where we kind of put little tidbits out there about the lore. And there is the version for the Chaos Empire. For those of you who've been following the lore at all, then you know that Chaos Legion introduced this invasion of this dark, horrible army who is overseen by Silas. And there's some sort of partnership with some kind of dark god known as Ul, with all the tentacles and the volcano, if you guys remember that stuff. They've taken over most of the Splinter worlds. They've conquered, probably 90% of what the Splinterlands entails. And so you get a little peek into how the world has changed since that conquering has taken place. And for those of you who are curious about the lore, it's obviously going to lead into the next card set. When we get around to it, Rebellion will be like, okay, how does the Splinterlands react to being oppressed like this and having this evil empire dictating their everything that they do. What's cool about the lore also is we introduced Asaria's music. For those of you guys who like music, each splinter, and if you read lore.splinterlands.com, you'll start to gain an interest perhaps in the difference between the elements of magic and the splinters of the world. But essentially, the music is amazing for this one. At about the 20-second mark, if you listen to it, things really pump up, and you can start visualizing the banners waving and the soldiers marching and all that good stuff. You start to imagine, the oppressive nature of this legion who invaded and now set up an empire, and how you don't want to mess with them. Or what it would mean to fight them, or try to attempt to fight them. So there's a lot of cool stuff with the lore. Right now, it's just flavor to what is essentially our strategy game. But I like to think that it's setting the foundation for something bigger down the road. At which point, I think that we've built a world with a lot of depth, characters with a lot of personality, and hopefully you'll see the fruits of that labor happen more and more as we get into what does land mean, what could that spill into, what type of modes of gameplay could be introduced down the road. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be cool. A lot of stuff has to deal with 1.6. So, for instance, we're putting the finishing touches on a new shot page, so that players. And I think this might have even been your idea, Agrid, or maybe you just signed off on it and says, "Yeah, that's a great idea." But essentially, a shot page, which provides players with a centralized location to go to for all their land stuff. So that includes time crystals, grain, power cores, things of that nature, so that you don't have to hunt for the right place in the land section of the website. You could say, I just want to buy some. Where the heck? And you just go to the shop and it's all right there. And there's a little merchant there, and he's I'll wait for down the road to share that stuff with you. But stuff like that, stuff like um, supporting the totem fragment, combining to create the totems. I shared some wallpaper recently with the druid guy and what that looks like. Stuff like the cool unlocking of achievements that leads to the prefix titles. And what is that going to look like to be part of the League of Verico, a secret organization that has, under the oppression of the Chaos Empire, you as a battle mage are now swept into this secret organization to start producing resources for, they're not talking about any kind of rebellion yet. They just know that they need to get away, and they need to collaborate and figure out how to help each other under this oppressive regime. And so, so the idea that you're part of this league, and that this league has certain prestigious roles and titles within it, and so that leads to the all the different titles that you guys are aware of. Whether it's the Rune Guard, or if you own a region, it's a Sentinel and things of that nature, or Castle, or the Vonarch title. So stuff like that we're working on, so that right after 1.5 we could go through the white paper and take care of all the things that maybe didn't get launched with 1.5. And so we'll definitely hit the ground running with all that stuff.
Is there any eye candy that you want to kind of show off today? Anything that we're putting on display?
Yeah, so that's where we kind of shift gears and reference what was referenced earlier, which is the fact that Weirdbeard said, hey, we're nearing the next airdrop in Rift Watchers. And I do agree that is something to celebrate. It's been a while since the last airdrop for any set. And so I'm looking forward to it. For those of you who have visited the Rift Watchers shop page, there's a little airdrop button. And we do this time around with this card set, we gave like a little clue, a little hint, a little visual hint, because we show the little silhouette of the characters that are coming up. And then, of course, when the airdrop happens, that silhouette is turned into the actual, visual representation of the characters, so that you can clearly see it. But I think it was Friday, just a few days ago, I kind of poked Bob, Matt, and Biz, and said, so, last time we looked at this was a while ago. Are these stats still good? What are we doing here? And they're like, yeah, let's look at that. And so they went back and forth, and over the weekend, I saw Biz and Matt were furiously at work going over different stat combinations and looking at the original vision for the character. And I was pulling my hair out like, oh crap, do I have to change the artwork? Like, like what are we doing here? So they just wanted to make sure that they tweaked the stats a little bit, not only to make the character more appealing and be like, hey, this is something to get excited about, but also to take into account all the cards that have happened since the last airdrop and make sure that the proper balancing was taken into account. And so I don't envy what they have to do. There's a lot of number crunching, a lot of theorizing, and still there's a lot of testing to do. But that doesn't mean they did sign off. Biz and Matt says, Nate, if you do want to share some stuff, okay, just let them know everything is subject to change. But if you want to know where our heads are at during the testing, during internal testing, and who knows, maybe we'll be able to get it on to Mav's test server as well. So again, for those of you out there who are not a Mav, so that might be something to aspire to be if you like the inside scoop, if you like to play with the toys a little bit earlier. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and share what things are looking like, and you'll notice the little disclaimer at the bottom of the graphics is subject to change. So here we go to Drum roll. 3, 2, 1. Bam. There you go.
That's a
So
big guy.
yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, at max level 5, whopping freaking abilities. This thing is monstrous, and has bloodlust. Like, jeez. So there's a lot there. So I'll let you guys take it in and digest that. But while you're doing that, just understand that these are some of the most ginormous golems that can ever be created in the Splinterlands world. They usually take sight. The origins of each of these sea wreck golems happens where there's usually been a sea wreck, and there's this deep supernatural impression, perhaps, of lives lost there, which is critical to the spell casting, the summoning of one of these huge creatures. After the Chaos Legion invaded, they made use of these things. They summoned these monstrous things to help conquer the planet. And if you come across one, it's terrifying. These things might hit up a coastal village and just with one mighty swing, just lives are lost. So if you see one coming, run.
If you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't. A lot of men died. I don't know if you guys know the 16-ton song. That dude is massive.
Yeah.
I don't encourage you to mess with C-Rec, but I like him. I like him a lot. You get the heal in there with the 13 health. So you're healing a ton every single time. If he happens to kill anybody, which he might actually do with the magic reflect and the low speed makes me think he's not going to hit that many people. But when he does, I imagine he can kill some of them.
Yeah. Or on the right combat rule set where slow is a good thing, this guy would be absolutely devastating. Like, geez. So yeah, there it is. I hope you guys, enjoy your theory crafting on what that thing will do on your lineups and what that'll be like to play with. And if you want to ensure or guarantee that you get more of those things, you got a limited time, like what, maybe you got the
It's
next
less than a
week and a half,
Yeah.
something like that. You got like between a week and a half at the most, in order to go buy up some Rift Watcher packs so that you can kind of increase your chances of getting some of these in an airdrop for free. So definitely, I would run to the shop before it's too late.
All right. That's some beautiful eye candy and that's fun to see a brand new card enter into the fray here. Any other things that you'd like to share on this beautiful morning?
No, I think that's pretty much it for this week.
All righty. I guess we're let's go check out some of the questions. I have this open somewhere. I guess I have to refine this, but we're there it is. I just had my Discord hiding above it. So we have maybe 2 pages of questions. These are the pre-written questions. So we'll go pop into these and see what this is. So Splinterlands Town Hall, pre-sorted questions, 828. This is from you guys. I have a second, so I'll just remind everybody. We do take live questions, but if we don't get to your question, you can just leave it in the Town Hall channel, and some of the moderators will go and grab those questions. We put like little bits of refinement into them, like grammatical or something, or if you like call us names while doing it, we might take out the names and just leave the actual question. But otherwise, we try not to mess with the actual content of the question very much. Game mechanics, similarly to the auto draw, when you start a match and setups are the same, could the same principle be applied to the start of any round, i.e., if at the start of the round all of the same? Funky. I don't like if at some point you get to the same setup, you would call it a draw automatically.
Yeah, because they're worried about how it's just turns into an RNG thing to where, they're hit, they hit, but I didn't. Things like that are under consideration, but we're not currently making a change like actively, and we'll update if we are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not terrible. I don't know. I don't have super strong feelings about that, but what I do have super strong feelings about is getting land out. So, like, am I going to stop the developers to go work on that? No, we're going to finish land, and then we'll figure out what other things we can do. But that's a fine feature, a fine request, and we'll put it into the backlog. MAV access. Rebellion will not be launched in the near future. Have you considered other ways to get MAV access? I have not really. I might be open to something, but it's been that way for a couple of years, and like Rebellion might be closer than you think. I'm not gonna put too much into that, but I think we're gonna get Rebellion out this year, so Mavs might have to wait a little bit, but it's not infinite. Tournaments. Is there a reason why there have been delays in posting tournaments lately? For small players, it is hard to plan rentals to use it in brawls and tournaments.
I mean, A, it's been a focus on land, and B, I've been in and out of the hospital for an eye issue. So that's essentially just a timing issue.
I didn't know about the eye thing. Are you
Oh
okay?
yeah, kind of. Right now, I'm I'm losing sight in one eye, so it's pretty gnarly. But yeah,
Man, is it stress of this gig, or is this like a pre-existing condition?
it's an underlying autoimmune
Look at
issue
Harry.
that they don't know. So,
Gator's all nodding and like, yes, I have lost both my limbs, and just he's nodding along in sympathy of this gig is hard. So I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope that you are experiencing blissful health in the near future.
hopefully.
Is it true that tournaments will be paused for a few weeks to wait for terms of service change? Do we need a DAO vote for that, or can you implement it anytime?
We have terms of service changes coming soon. We have our first drafts. They're going through legal currently. Tournaments are not being paused in anticipation of that, so that's not something that is happening. And I don't think we've ever said that that's what would be happening. But we do have our first round of terms of service going through legal, and should be as soon as the lawyers say give us the thumbs up, then we should be good.
Can we add a feature to tournament creation where the creator can blacklist certain in-game names?
That's already in the backlog. It's an item that we have an understanding of. However, it's not a just like make the thing and it's here. It requires quite a bit of people, including Cryptomancer, who's currently deep in land development. So
settings and user experience. Can we add an option in the settings to turn off pack opening animations?
I thought you already could. I guess not. But I mean, I'm sure it's a as good a suggestion as any of them.
Yeah, you can hit back or refresh. There are workarounds to that, but sure, we can add a button to skip it. But am I going to stop land to go get you a button to skip pack openings? No, sir, I am not.
Unfortunately.
In-game items and transactions. Since vouchers are used in conjunction with the burning of DEC, with a voucher discount applied to time crystals. Do you want to answer that, Weirdbeard? Should I just say no?
Let me read it again.
Will the voucher discount apply to time crystals?
Oh, not at the beginning. Once we start trying to apply those voucher discounts to everywhere that we're already looking at doing them, then it won't be too hard of a change to implement. But we have to do some underlying code stuff first.
Skins were confirmed to be transferable and sellable. When will existing skins be peer-to-peer tradable in the marketplace like other assets?
We're hoping to be able to do that when we bring skins first, like forefront with a voucher store and with all the different cosmetic items that we also want to have included in that. So it's bundled up in getting out with a larger project as well.
Yeah, we want to do that. And we've been working on that, and there's parts of that already built. But, as long as we are focused on land, cosmetics, skins, other game modes, all the other stuff, it all takes a secondary position to getting land 1.5 out.
Yep.
Guild management. Could you please make possible to change guild power contribution from undonated to permanent without needing to leave and rejoin a guild?
I mean, it's possible. I don't think I have any input on that question at the moment, but it does. Maybe we'd have to have most likely Matt and Cryptomancer take a better take on that than I would have.
Land, do plots traded on the market with building in a box have a power core, or is a power core soulbound to the original buyer of the building in a box package?
I believe it's if you didn't. I think it's soul bound to the original purchaser. I believe.
I would be surprised if that was the case.
So right now, when I think Land 1.5 comes out, whoever owns it is gonna get a power core. So if you buy it before then, you'll get a power core with it. If it's already been after it's released, whoever bought it originally is going to have received that power core. The actual building in the box will be on the plot and transferable until the next phase where that gets used comes out, at which point that will have been, if someone's used it, it will be there. But anyway, power cores are not transferable.
For the 50 resources in Land 2.0, will the liquidity providers be Pretoria wide or territory wide? That's still a TBD. Soulkeep, please let us know what is now with Soulkeep. If two companies have a deal to develop a game, that's one thing. But if a third party is a community behind it, they should at least know what's going on and what to expect. We are all lost souls who want information.
Well, I
So-
feel like we already sort of gave some feedback and information on that. We had to bring it in-house. It's a product that we're not going to feel comfortable just shipping out for anybody, regardless of whether or not a third company developed it. We do need to know what is happening with our product. So while we understand your frustration and sort of like feeling like you're being left out, a lot of it is also us having to know and quality control, right? Just because you go with a third party company doesn't mean all of a sudden everything's perfect. We want to make sure that the things that we are doing are good, and we want to make sure that when we put it out, the community also thinks it's good.
Since it sounds like Double Cooking is out of the mix of Soulkeep, have you considered moving it to Unity, which is more in line with how future games in the ecosystem will be developed?
I mean, we literally just had somebody yell at us that it's not out and they don't know what's going on, and then the second one is move it to a whole different way of developing it. So I think there's obviously some splits, and it's not that Double Coconut is out of the picture. Again, we need to have quality control of products that go out on our platform, so it's that as well. It's not just, oh, Double Coconut is not doing stuff anymore. So I want to head that off and make sure that that is not the narrative that's being said. But again, eh, we need to get through Land first. Like we continue to have conversations and go round and round about what we're doing with tower defense. And while I agree it's important to get to, we are drowning under making sure that we get Land stuff. So that is priority number one for us. And tower defense we're solving in the background.
I think that's a good summary. I guess that's the end of questions. So why don't we have maybe we have 45 minutes. I don't know that we're going to need the full 45 minutes, but if you guys have questions that are in the audience right now and we want to go switch to live questions, let's do that. So anything that you guys want to put in there, please, like Azaria is posting, please start your question with a big bolded word question so that we know that that's what you're asking something and we can quickly scan through chat rather than if you guys are just chit-chatting with each other.
Hey, Edgar, I just realized while people are posting their questions, I do have a C-Rec wallpaper. So why don't
Yeah.
I drop that in while people think about what they want to ask, and then there you go, folks. You have a wallpaper with the new upcoming airdrop character. So sorry I forgot that earlier.
Very handsome. His face is kind of boat-like. I like it. Like he's wearing a boat for a hat. Okay. Dishonesty is asking, do you guys have or have had a conflict with Double Coconut? No. I mean, this is a personal friend of Matt's that we've worked with for multiple years. You know, we're just we want the game to be operating on servers that we control and that we're, the long-term owners and holders of this. That's actually how they originally proposed it. So we're just kind of going through a transition of how we're actually managing the production servers of things. So no major conflict, no flinging poo at one another. David's a good guy, and
Yes.
we like that team. Question: is a Zircon a team member? Somehow his name is still in purple. Shouldn't it be brown to match my eyes? A Zircon is not a team member. His name is in purple. I'll check that out. I think that's because he's showing as a Mav, and the Mavs were purple at some point. So I don't know, but I'm sure you have lovely eyes. With honesty. Have you developed a way of finding out if a player uses Battle Helper or not? That's a question for some of the other folks here.
I mean, like, it depends on what your classification of whether they're using it, and also, like, I don't know. I don't want to go down a whole technical rabbit hole. Do we have ways of looking at stuff? Yes. Are we going to lay out exactly what we do and how we do it so that people can program around it? Not really. And is it perfect? No. So, like, there's still plenty of work to be done on the battle helper front. But we do have, our internal detection methods at the time.
Frito Lay is asking, how many months do you have without making revenue before you need to make some financial decisions relative to cost cutting? It's not actually an answer that I can tell you. The board is made up of a lot of different people. Some are more conservative than others, and people have different thoughts on what the best plan is. If crypto prices dip, you got to keep in mind that the company keeps a fair amount of our holdings in crypto. So if prices dip strongly from here, then we probably have to do some cost cutting. If they crab for a while, I don't actually know how long we can go, because there's not like one answer to that. There's not like, how many months till you run out of cash or something. It's not clear. But the question is, to me, it's less about like how many exact months do you have, and it's more like how long do you have until people are until the board switches from, hey, we're okay and we can keep doing this, to, hey, it's tricky enough right now and it's been long enough that it's time to make cost cuts. And I don't know. I personally don't want to make cost cuts. I think that we have great products coming out that we'll have a pack sale before the end of the year. We have land coming out. We have tower defense that can roll out. The goals game is getting towards rewards, which I think is a big part of that. So in my eyes, we have a lot of the things that we need to be successful, but I'm only one person on the board and I can't speak for others, and I don't always get my way. So that is a trickier question than just me being able to say it's exactly this many. It's up to an entire board to make that decision. Question: what is the status of draft mode? It's funny, like everything is land. I don't, anything you want to add other than we're working on land, Weirdbeard?
I want it. Give it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a technical plan for implementing it, like just like everything. Our main blockers are less about like, have you figured out what you're doing, and more, do we have the manpower and the time to do it at this exact juncture? So
Yep. So in the future, vouchers will provide a discount when buying time crystals.
I mean, I don't want to 100% confirm that, but if what we're doing is we're trying to find anywhere where deck and deck B is burned that you can use vouchers as a discount, then it seems like that would be logical to also do.
Question: are all the devs working on land, or are some devs working on other stuff?
I mean, we still have some devs and other stuff, but I mean, the majority are land because that is our main priority.
Um, John is asking, is Rebellion coming out in 23 or 24? I want to get land out before I start answering that, but we might need to address that soon. What do you think, Weirdbeard? What do you want to say?
I mean, I think we need to get through land first, so that's our first conversation.
Yeah, give us once land drops, then we can start talking about sets and whatever else might come after land. But right now, it's just focus on land. Any chance there could be a reevaluation of the Gladius cards? The majority of games now are now Gladius cards, and it's killing the variety of gameplay.
I mean, what would we want the reevaluation to be? Because like we're not going to go and rework cards that already exist. But I guess I don't know. I don't understand that question, but I'd like to. Yeah.
One potential thing is when Rebellion does come out, we're going to have a cycle of Modern. So we may need to determine if some Gladiator cards are considered Untamed Cycle and are going to move to Wild, or if they're all considered Modern or not. But that's going to be a discussion after Land.
After Land. Gathering the Magic. Will there be a way to reduce transportation costs and taxes, or will it always be set to 12.5%? 10% would be nice to reduce the cost somehow. Yeah, part of why we set them higher to begin with is so that they could be reduced for various actions and buildings and things over time. So that's what you have to live with for now, but it's not a forever thing. But it's also not a soon thing, right? Like some of the other major buildings and things, you see how long it takes us to get 1.5 out, and then we got to get 1.6 out. It's going to be a while before things like transportation costs or taxes are going to be, drastically revamped. Question: how will voucher discount will be added to energy purchases? How much discount one voucher will give when it's come end of September? I don't know. Anything you guys want to add about how voucher discounts work?
Not at this time.
Okay. Rune Guard Bitcoin Sig is asking, with so many full-time game products, it seems like you are understaffed to maintain so many projects. Do you plan to address this? It seems like putting all devs from one project to another is unsustainable to keeping all the game products fresh. We have different ideas on how we should be doing things, whether there's some of us that say, hey, just put a dev on a different project and just let it go. We have others that say, hey, you need to get as many people on one project as possible. I think my answer is somewhere like you let the work dictate that. It is the more projects that we add, the more that we have to maintain. And so that's definitely a thing. But, the more projects we add, the more variety that there is to the game and the ecosystem. So there's a benefit. So I don't know. There's not like one answer to this. It's sort of like, what do we want our priorities to be? And what do we want? How do we want this thing to run? So I don't know.
It's more art and less science is how I always say it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not math. There's not like one answer. This is the answer. You guys are asking a lot of these questions that have complicated variables in it. And I don't, I have my set of answers of how I want to do things. But one of the things about how I do things is try to let other people have voices and share what's important to them and make sure that their concerns are addressed. And it's not just, whatever Aggie says goes. That's not how we run this thing. Bitcoin Flood is asking, could we get a mock-up example of how much DEC we would need to run a plot of land? The part I'm confused about is if I have a building in a box, so a power core, but it's something like I also need another 50,000 DEC for the plot if I run 5x max cards on it as well locked up. Yeah, you need 50,000 DEC per plot if you have 5 max level workers on it. The exception would be if you have a Rooney on it, because the Rooney makes it so that the Rooney powers them. If you have a Rooney, but you don't have a power core, you can have a total of 5 units. And if you have a Rooney and a power core, you can have a total of 6 units. So that's all outlined in the white paper. I think they do a decent job of that. And if you have additional questions, I'm happy to answer them, or other people can in Mavs or whatnot. Question: once Land 1.5 is out, can you share what the priorities will be? Yeah, once we get that out, we will definitely be sharing the priorities. Have the team ever considered developing an official battle helper which burns 20 to 30 DEC once using it, which should burn a lot of DEC? Yeah, we think about bots and battle helpers and other things. Right now it seems like the community is far more interested in removing those things and having the company put out some official version of those things. So, but if the DAO chooses to go a different route, that's something that we could consider building. Deuce Crypto at 1117 is asking, do you need a competitive play intern to help with tournament creation? I know a guy. I think Weirdbeard's got this, unless you're dying for somebody to take that over.
Well, definitely because our tournament account is like a master account. So unfortunately, that will never be something that gets delegated.
Yeah, I mean that's half of it. The other half is that when you get into this stuff, people get in your face about it. Like how tournaments work and how they ought to run. People get very funky. So you can't just like stick some 16-year-old in there and hope that it all goes okay, they're gonna get bamboozled by savvy navs that have an agenda. Question: what pack sale by the end of the year? Sorry if this is already talked about. Arrived late today. Yeah, we haven't. We're being a little coy about this. So we're gonna get land out, and then we'll describe what's going to be available. Marketable is asking: has tower defense gameplay been completed and just need to switch to our servers? That should be worked on separately, correct? Do you guys want to answer that? Do you want me to answer that?
I mean, the gameplay's there. We still have like some basic stuff that we're looking because we had feedback on the first level being too difficult. But I mean, that's less gameplay stuff and more like what we want to tweak. Really, the big thing is that we again need to do quality control of knowing what is on our servers and what are we putting out for people to be able to play with. Like we need to know that. That's on our game, you know.
Daru is asking 1122. There have been some complaints about matchmaking mixed with poor understanding of how the ELO rank works. Can you explain a bit how it works to appease the ones that are saying it's flawed? I feel like this is a great Matt question.
Yes.
You know, I think that there's some acknowledgement that the ELO system is not the perfect system. So, you know, if people have some complaints, they're reasonable complaints, and you know, it's our desire to make that a better experience than what it is currently. But again, like right now, the goal is to get land out, and until land gets out, we're not going to go like prioritize something above it. Mega Mayhem is asking at 1122, are there any plans to include tournaments like Scared Hand and Goleth for Champion League players? At the moment, if you finish in Champ 1, you cannot participate in some of the tourneys available due to rating. Of course, land is of importance, as well as change of terms of service. Keep up the hard work, and thank you for making this game exciting and playable. I don't know. Are there plans to include some of those other tournaments for Champion League players?
I mean, we could. I've definitely had people reach out, but I think it's one of those things of just got to do something, figure out what we're doing.
Zertz is asking, I asked about the reevaluation of Gladius cards, but it also applies to any soulbound card since it's feasible to a nerf buff any soulbound card while it is still locked in soulbound without affecting an actual current market value of that card. It's a great way to add better balancing after the printing. Yeah, I don't know that I don't see a lot of plans around drastically reworking any of these cards. I don't I'm hearing this from Zertz. Are you hearing lots of like people looking to buff or nerf Gladius cards or Showbound cards in particular, Weirdbeard?
I mean, I've been heads down with land, so I don't want to say that their experience is one that they're currently existing and living, but I mean, I have not had a deluge of people coming to me asking for that. So
yeah, I don't. Yeah,
as a player in silver, it's a lot of Quora if you can fit in conscript and Quora.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gator added, just to follow up on that last question, and are all the devs on land? We do have other teams. Well, almost all the Splinterlands team is on land. The Goals team devs are still on a separate team working on their game. So it's not like everyone has been pulled for land. And it's not just that. I mean, the ops team is still mostly doing ops stuff. The enhancement team has some people that are working on some new gameplay stuff that we're not quite talking about yet. But there's pieces that are out there that are not just land. But if I had to pick one thing, well, what's the biggest thing in the game right now that our team is working on? It's land. MetaMick is asking, do you worry about releasing a pack set during a bear market? The majority of the current one looks unlikely to sell. Yeah, I mean, under current conditions, it is nerve-wracking to say the least that everything, it seems like NFTs are dead. It seems like Bitcoin is stuck at 26,000 to 27,000. It seems like there's a lot of doom and gloom, and bears are calling for 10K, and everything looks dramatic and bad. And oftentimes that's what it looks like before you get massive vertical liftoff in price. But, if there's kind of three scenarios where price goes down and Splinterlands would be in trouble. Price stays flat and we crab or just kind of sloth around for a long time. At some point we get into trouble. I don't know the exact day there. And then the third option is that we're in a bull market and things go well. So we have, I wish that we were less dependent on markets, but we've been in this bear market for 2 years. So it impacts us, and we don't have infinite capital, and the stuff is scary at times, but we're going to keep plowing through it. We're going to keep putting good products out. We're going to get our next pack edition out, and I think you guys are going to be excited about it. And we're going to just keep moving along, even if things look grim right now. I don't know how many times. I don't know how long you guys have been in the market. I've been here since 2016. I've seen God candles of 10,000 in a single month. Bitcoin is clearly capable of dumping as hard as you might think institutional bears could push down price, and they can also send this thing to the freaking moon. So we just try to build good products and do our best along the way, regardless of whatever the market conditions are. But if we're in a bear market, what that'll really affect is like how many packs we're going to go put out there. If by the time that our next edition comes out, if markets have rebounded and we're at all-time highs, it's probably going to be a higher set amount. And if the bears were right, we're down at 10,000, and we're going to put out 5 card packs and hope that you guys buy it. That is a little bit of a joke, but we're going to mix. We're going to try to match some of what we're doing with the market conditions at the time to give us as much runway and give us as much leeway to operate as possible. When the team gets to work on the new player experience, will there eventually be a player versus environment mode so new players won't have to play against bots? PvE mode could help new players learn the game and reward them with soulbound cards as they advance. The PvE mode could also be free to play. Free to play mode would help get more players and hopefully more spellbook purchases. Anything you want to add about new player experience there, Weirdbeard?
Yes, we want to do something similar. I don't want to commit to exactly how it's going to be done, but yeah, playing against a guided way of interacting with the game for new players is super important, and we'd like to be able to get to that.
I'm curious if they're asking just to fill out the bingo card, but to get us to say new player experience.
Yeah, that's totally dirty.
The new player experience.
Yeah, you got to put in bullish, bear market, bull run. There you go. Put all those things out there. Is there going to be a quarterly promo card in September? I don't think that we're hitting a promo card in September.
No.
Question. I've been thinking about ways to improve new user experience. I'm thinking more formats will create more winners and split the rewards across more users. Have you given any thought to new formats, maybe a pre-modern one? Yeah. So gameplay, so high level, like we've done a lot of economic fixes over the past year or so. Arguably, we've been doing that since July of 2021. And I think we're kind of getting to the end of like the economic things that we want to prioritize. And the next level of things that we want to do is really focusing on gameplay. And that's going to, like what do we as a company want to, make our biggest priority going forward is, I think, the entertainment value. We had some things to fix and to get out for the first place, like SPS staking. That was we still have more work to go do on that. That's still one of those things that we want to get out there. But I think going forward, like the high level plan is to focus on gameplay after sort of Land gets out here. So what's going to be the next format? Is it arena runs? Is it draft systems? Is it I don't know, items and spells? Is it what the hell is it going to be? We have some thoughts and plans, but we got to really start and look at what are the first things that we're going to implement, and we'll let you know when we figure out what we're putting it out.
There's no shortage of cool shit to be done.
Yeah.
Like there's always new cool stuff that we can do. It's what are we going to do, and then just going to do it.
MetaMyth is asking, can we get another voucher promo card? I mean, there's nothing that stops us from getting something like that out. that is a possibility. Although one of the things is like, I guess there's a couple thoughts. One, are we going to do that while land is out or is not yet out? No, that is not something we're going to prioritize over it. And the company wants to be able to do like quarterly promo sales, and the players don't really get the difference between the voucher ones that are for the benefit of the DAO and the holders versus the ones that we do. So we gotta think through how we handle that. Is one devoted to the DAO and vouchers, or two devoted to the DAO and vouchers? What are we going to do? Question. I like Battle Pass. That counts in the. We're going to focus on getting land out first before we start thinking about anything else. But all those things that are new game modes, new cosmetics, new experiences, new ways to play, that's the things that we're prioritizing once land 1.5 is out. Please short comments on some random topics: SBS node testnet, Dino partnership, Arcade Colony, Invenium exchange listing project. SBS node testnet. So we're actually doing the GLS node is running internally, and we have multiple devs that are doing that. We're in the process of building the witness voting system. So that's sort of the last thing I can think of before we release that out there for goals, and then we'll circle back and do it for SBS. I have like an internal hope that I can get this stuff running for SBS in the 2023 calendar year, but I'm not sure that we're going to make that. So maybe I'll think of that as Q1 of 2024, but that's ongoing and we're working on it. Dino partnership, a little bit on pause as they kind of figure out what they want to do and their circumstances. Arcade Colony and Invenium, we're trying to finish up the last of goals, because a lot of what we're building for goals is going to be meaningful for the rest of Invenium. But so goals is the focus there, but these things will come after. And then exchange listing project. Well, Splinterlands is not directly involved in the exchange listing project. That's more of a DAO thing. So that's better to go ask people on the DAO. I think there's a lot of uncertainty right now and weirdness. So I don't see like a super hard push to list, because there are some of these groups that are coming under a fair amount of scrutiny right now, and it's a little nerve-wracking to think about. Do we want to list there? Maybe they're about to go get hit by the SEC immediately afterwards, which could be awkward. So hopefully those things help. Marketable is asking 11:30. Does the team at this time think it's the best option to host giveaways to get eyes on the game while we are all 100% geared towards land? I mean, we've been doing giveaways on the Splinterlands TV side of things for months. So I would say, yes, we want to host those. We are taking a little bit of a break, but there it is. Lewis88 just wants us to say bear market. So there you go. Dave McCoy is tossing me a softball here. Are you excited for the future? So I think he wanted the word excited. So there's excited. I would say stoked. I'm surprised that you guys didn't put stoked in the bingo. But we've been in this bear market for 2 freaking years. I put it back to April of 2021. So I would say we're at something like 2.5 years right now. This is freaking brutal. The good news to me is that after long shitty bear markets comes really exciting and powerful bull markets. I've been saying that for months, so take all that with a grain of salt. But I think land alone can be a game changer for this entire community. I think getting additional games like Tower Defense and Goals and everything else in Invenium can be a game changer. I think the next pack edition that we do is going to be pretty exciting, and that I suspect that there's some changes in there that you guys will react to, and hopefully quite strongly. There's cool things that are coming. It is always that versus what are the current market conditions, and the current market conditions are fast rising interest rates. You have like your mortgage interest payment is something like the interest rate is 7 or 8% right now. It's like the highest it's been since the 70s or 80s. I mean, that there's some like, we are building through absolutely brutal times. Will they stay brutal times forever? No, I'm bullish on America and Americans as a whole, and think that we'll figure this stuff out. But this has been tough conditions to build under. But like they said in The Crow, it can't rain forever. So yeah, I'm excited for the future, excited for what we're doing, excited for what we're building. I think we have some of the coolest, most developed tokenomics of anywhere. I think our gameplay is fun. And I think that there's new parts to the gameplay that are under development that we haven't really been talking about, but I think they're exciting and things are coming, guys. There's more on the horizon. Let's see. Question: are there any team proposals in sight? I don't have them. I don't know that anybody else in this room does. Anybody looking to propose something?
I have a couple that I'd want to run by Matt. I guess I could talk about them briefly here. I would like to see the DAO give like a month of like 100 SPS to new spellbook purchasers, because we have the whole you need SPS to really get decent earnings.
And just have that be a script, kind of like we do high-powered delegations.
Yeah, like set aside a few million SPS just to delegate like 100 to a new account. But I don't know if that should come from the team or just as from the community. And I'd like to get through the land stuff where we start to focus on new players before really pushing for that anyways.
Yeah, that's a good change. I can support that. Question. Oh, I think I already answered that. Sometimes you guys ask it. What's that? 11:32 is where I'm at. Oh, somehow, somehow I got moved up. Is there any update you have regarding licenses? I talked about that earlier. Zerts, any interest building for another Splinterlands in 2024? If so, in what country would you personally like to throw that party? Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for sort of like the next good market so that we can put more effort into marketing. And Splinterfest would absolutely be a part of that. There's probably no chance we can get this in for 2023. So next most likely target is 2024. And I want to throw it in both America and the Philippines if I have my chance to do so. Marketable. To gain separation from marketplace dependency for Splinterlands, a company should priorities be reset after land to get some sort of consistent income for the company, such as Battle Pass. Yeah, I mean, we want more consistent revenue rather than like event-driven revenue. So that's already sort of on that list of things that we want. But people tell me how crypto games should work all the time, and I just keep coming back to it doesn't really matter what we do. They're still going to be pretty dependent on market conditions. And they'll be like, well, if the game is fun, everybody should just be buying. But it's like, if you know that your house is going to go down in value by, 10% next month, you probably aren't dying to buy houses. It doesn't matter if it's fun or if, even if you need to buy it, people try to not buy things that they know might go down the next month. And so this ecosystem is going to be market driven. And I know that might not be happy for people, but I think that's an economic reality. And I'm sure other people have different ideas. So, we'll see. But, to whatever extent that we can make it so that we are not entirely dependent on that market, I think that's right. And one of my thoughts around that is really like, how do I create demand for DEC regardless of market conditions? That's the thing I've been thinking through. How do I make sure that somebody somewhere in the world needs to purchase DEC, because that's what stabilizes this whole damn thing. So that's been on my mind of late, is thinking through what are some of the sinks that we might be able to put together for that. And I think that, if I'm right about bull markets coming and things being exciting in the near future, we'll have some opportunities to do things. And hopefully Splinterlands can enter into the meat sack world a little bit more than what we're doing. Let's see. Question. I see Marketable asking at 11:36. I was on a plane this last week and I got to see Cocaine Bear. That movie is both terrible and amazing. That was a lot of fun. Question: is Splinterlands planning to fix the UX issues before adding new features and/or new player things?
Yes,
Yeah, I think that's a yes.
that's a yes.
Metamic is asking, after 1.5 is out, is the plan to go back to modernization or crack on with 1.6 or whatever it is called?
I was going
Go
to say, tech modernization is a process that's always happening. It's like not we are doing this now instead of this. It's a thing that's always kind of like an ongoing process. 1.6, we are definitely moving forward with, but that it's not going to be as all consuming as 1.5 has been. So we're anticipating being able to do 1.6 in conjunction with some of these other things that we're hoping to be able to do.
Yep. Would it be good to set up a Splinterlands booth at the Comic-Con shows? Yeah, we do that sometimes, but not always. Again, I think that's fairly market dependent. Question: will Invenium run on top of the SPS nodes? Probably not. Bubkey saying bullish on America. That's so American. Yeah, I mean, I believe in my people. Let's see. Byzantinist is saying we might also eventually see the node license prices and DEC proposal come back since the Rift Watcher prices and DEC passed on the second try. Yeah, I'd love to see that come back. Actually, if I had somebody was asking, does the team have a proposal? That would be my proposal. Is that like, I don't like things being priced in SPS because it further exasperates whether when prices are high, everybody will buy, and that's super exciting. But when prices are low, nobody will buy, and so things just appear sort of dead or slow. And I don't think that's super healthy. I think it's better when it's priced in DEC. I know some people would be annoyed and they feel like their value might go down or whatever. But frankly, in my eyes, getting DEC up to the par value is the single most important thing that we can do, because that's like step one of the flywheel. So I'd love to see that passed. I'd love to see that come back. And we'll see what the community does. They don't all necessarily just by the emojis, which is apparently just Daru reacting upset. I think that's one of the best proposals that's out there. Too Curious is saying, since we are in a bear market, as you just pointed out, should you not wait to put out a new set till at least the BTC halving next year? BTC halving is what, March or April? So that's still like 8 months away. I don't think that this company should be doing something like almost 2 years without revenue. So no, we're gonna put out a pack and a pack edition. We might need to scale it back so that we can have as a community more reasonable expectations of what's going to sell at this current time. But no, we need to get revenue in the door sooner than that. So I don't think that we're just gonna wait until March or April of next year. And again, there's some people, I follow a lot of like technical analysts on Twitter, and while there's plenty of bear sentiment, there's also plenty of bull sentiment where you could get new all-time highs in 2023. I think we just need to build regardless. You don't listen to all the bears, you don't listen to all the bulls. You just hey, here's our products, here's what we're doing, and we build a little bit. Like the scale of what we do, we should scale with the markets, but what we want to do shouldn't really be market dependent. It should be, here's what's in the best interest of the game, and here's what we're going to build. Let's see. In line with not buying if you expect it to go down next month, can we set in stone not having set promotions in order for players not to do the same and avoid pre-sales? That is, wait for the future discount instead of buying early. We'll see. I mean, I think we're going to cut our whatever pre-sales we do. I think we're going to keep them to something like a 30-day. And it's not like, hey, we're going to build this giant thing for you guys. It's just, here's for the people that want early access, you can have some early access, and here's the benefits. We've done that since the beginning. I think we'll keep doing that, but I think the scale to which we've done that is probably too far. So we're gonna reel it back in, but I don't think we're gonna eliminate it. Next pack edition, you'll probably have like 30 days to buy it before they're actually openable, that sort of thing. But not, here's an entire thing we're gonna build. Let's kickstart it now. I think we're done doing that. You guys have beaten us up enough to know not to do that. Are tournament prices still paid for revenue from market? In other words, is Splinterlands buying SBS off the market regularly?
No.
Well, it's yes and no. Though the answer of are the tournament prizes still paid for revenue from the market? That answer is no. Does Splinterlands buy SBS off market regularly? Yes, we buy it fairly regularly. Yeah, we bought a good chunk of DEC and SBS, and we'll continue to have to do it because the market forces us to sort of do that. Are you able to create a statement for all, including these words, hyped, flywheel, and new users? Yeah, the flywheel should bring in new users, and I think we're all hyped for that. Hopefully that helps you with your bingo. Question: Will the team consider a 2-week vacation after land 1.5? No town hall, no town square, no contact in Discord to shrug off all the salt and recharge batteries. I mean, the devs can take off the time that they need. Like obviously, it would be my preference that FARP is not in the middle of Alaska while the baby is still not out. But the devs got to do what the devs got to do. They got to live. He's out there, I think, with his dad, and you want that quality existence that we all want land and we all want it here, but people gotta live their life and have that be okay. Let's see. Question: Are you hyped? Yeah, I know you guys just want these bingo words, and it's adorable. Yes, I'm hyped. I'm anxious. I want market conditions to be back to what they were in 2017 when Litecoin's $500 and things are crazy. I'd love to see that again. It's been a while since we've seen that, but we'll get there. Can we please have Yabat Matt on in the next town hall in 2 weeks? We'll see where we're at. See what he's up to. He takes some vacation over the summers. Gathering the magic. How about a donate button on the Splinterlands site where people can donate DEC to the team? The team can use it to help pay salaries, cover some costs, just a way to help the team and say thank you for all the hard work. Save your money. We're gonna have a new edition out by the end of the year. We'll describe more of that to come. But
buy lots of that.
Yeah, buy lots of that. And also, we're gonna have land out. I know that it feels like forever, but we're gonna get land out. If you really want things to go, crazy, be selfish and get that DEC and put it on your land and get as much of the land stuff as you can. So, and that'll be okay. Rivals, congratulations on your mega bingo. The bingo was fun today, I gotta say. All right, so we're out of questions. I think we'll call it here. I don't know, Weirdbeard, any kind of final thoughts that you want to put out there for the community, and as we think about land and trying to get this baby out?
Reminding everybody that we're all on the same team. Everybody here wants to see land in this game do well, I think, and so remembering that is important in these times.
Yeah. We have disagreements about how things should work, and we have disagreements on timing, we have disagreements on budgets, we have disagreements on all this stuff. And I really try to focus on, none of these people are bad. None of it is wrong. Everybody's entitled to their own thoughts and opinions. And, my goal is to try to breathe in as much of that as possible and build it into the workflow and the decisions that we make as a company to the best of my ability. And that includes board members, that includes team members, that includes devs, that includes the creatives and marketing and everybody. Try to get as many thoughts around what we ought to be doing and build that into a cohesive plan. It is harder said than done, but especially in a long and terrible bear market. But like I said, can't rain forever. So anyways, I hope that everybody's well. I hope you guys are healthy, experience many blessings of peace, prosperity, and freedom. And I will catch you guys in 2 weeks, and we'll update everybody with where we are for land and all the other projects. Thanks for tuning in.
When chaos reigns and hope is lost, when your darkest days aren't saved by the dawn, we bring the light to help guide the way. We are with you. We are the Rift Watchers. When your enemies have spread far and wide, when you're out of places to run and hide, follow the runes, help is on the way, we stand with you. We are the Rift Watchers. Reigns and hope is lost, when your darkest days aren't saved by the dawn, we bring the light to help guide the way. We are with you.